Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's complex, often challenging, but absolutely essential to understand. The uncomfortable truths of American history. Now, this isn't about pointing fingers or making anyone feel bad. It's about acknowledging the full story, the good, the bad, and the complicated, so we can better understand where we are today and how we can build a better future together. Let's start at the very beginning. Even before 1776, the story of America's founding is often told as a tale of heroic pioneers and explorers arriving in a vast, empty wilderness. But we know this land was far from empty. It was home to millions of indigenous people, with rich, diverse cultures and complex societies that had thrived for thousands of years. The arrival of European colonists brought devastating consequences. Diseases, to which native peoples had no immunity, wiped out entire communities. This was followed by centuries of conflict, broken treaties, and forced relocations. Like the infamous Trail of Tears. The narrative of manifest destiny. The idea that America was divinely ordained to expand across the continent was used to justify the displacement and subjugation of native nations. Understanding this foundational conflict is crucial because its legacy continues to affect indigenous communities today, in issues ranging from sovereignty rights to economic and health disparities. Now, let us talk about an institution that is deeply woven into the fabric of early American society and its economy: slavery. For over 240 years, the enslavement of millions of Africans and their descendants fueled the economic growth of the colonies and, later, the United States. The wealth of the nation, from the cotton fields of the South to the shipping industries of the North, was built on the backs of enslaved people. This wasn't just a Southern problem. The entire country's economy was entangled with it. The Declaration of Independence declared that all men are created equal, yet the man who penned those words, Thomas Jefferson, himself enslaved hundreds of people. This paradox is at the very heart of the American story. The abolition of slavery after the Civil War was a monumental step, but it was far from the end of the story. The period that followed, known as Reconstruction, was a brief, brilliant moment of hope and progress for newly freed African Americans. Black men gained the right to vote and even held political office. But this progress was met with a violent and swift backlash. The end of Reconstruction gave rise to the Jim Crow era, a system of laws and social codes designed to enforce racial segregation and white supremacy. For nearly a century, separate but equal was the law of the land, though the reality was anything but equal. Black Americans were denied basic rights, faced systemic discrimination in housing, education and employment, and lived under the constant threat of violence from groups like the Ku Klux Klan. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s fought to dismantle this system, a struggle that required immense courage and sacrifice. It's also important to remember that the fight for liberty and justice for all has not been limited to one or two groups. Throughout history, various immigrant communities have faced intense prejudice and discrimination. Think about the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, the first major law restricting immigration in the U.S. based on nationality. During World War II, patriotism was warped into paranoia, leading to the forced internment of over 120,000 Japanese Americans, most of whom were U.S. citizens, based on their ancestry alone. These events serve as stark reminders that the fear of the other has been a recurring and destructive theme in our history, and the fight for equality wasn't just about race or ethnicity. For much of American history, women were considered second-class citizens. They couldn't vote, own property in their own name, or have a say in the laws that governed them. The women's suffrage movement, a decades-long struggle, finally secured the right to vote with the 19th Amendment in 1920. But even that was just one step. The fight for equal pay, reproductive rights, and an end to discrimination continues to this day. Similarly, the history of LGBTQ Americans is one of struggle against legal persecution and social condemnation, culminating in landmark movements like the Stonewall Uprising, which sparked the modern fight for gay rights. So why do we talk about these uncomfortable truths? Why dredge up the past? Because history is not just a collection of dates and facts, it's a living force that shapes our present. The wealth gap, neighborhood segregation, disparities in our justice system. Many of these modern issues have their roots in these difficult historical realities. Ignoring them doesn't make them go away. In fact, it prevents us from truly understanding the world we live in. Confronting this history is not about erasing the achievements of the United States. This is the same country that produced revolutionary ideas about democracy, made incredible scientific breakthroughs, and created breathtaking works of art. It's a country built on ideals of freedom and opportunity that have inspired millions around the world. The beauty and the complexity of America lie in the fact that both of these things can be true at the same time. The struggle to live up to our highest ideals is what the American experiment is all about. Our history is a story of both profound failings and an incredible capacity for change and self-correction, often driven by the very people who were marginalized. By learning about the uncomfortable parts of our past, we gain empathy. We learn to see the world from different perspectives. we become better informed citizens, capable of engaging in the difficult conversations necessary for a healthy democracy. It empowers us to recognize old patterns of injustice when they reappear and gives us the tools to build a more inclusive and equitable society for everyone. It's a process that requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to listen, and it's a journey that's well worth taking. Thank you so much for joining me for this important conversation today. If this topic resonated with you, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And do not forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. Until next time, stay curious.